every Thursday night at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I go live, and yeah, I got a lot of things to talk about today. So I'm gonna bounce around all over the place probably at the beginning, but the first thing I gotta say is, are you watching from Canada? I'm gonna talk about that later in today's video. But if you just tuned in, and you're from Canada, this is gonna be interesting. But I guess I could talk about the crazy market. I want to talk about some price disparities we're seeing. I want to talk about this modern market, and I want to show you guys some examples. Something I don't usually do, but when somebody does all the legwork for you, I think it is important to show some of the crazy prices we're seeing. I want to talk about Collecticon Jersey. I want to talk about Collecticon Charlotte. I want to talk about 151 reprints. So I guess the first thing I'll tackle, because it's the title of today's video, so just in case anybody clicked because of the title, I will talk about it. So if you guys don't know, I made a couple videos talking about the Japanese 151 reprint, and I was really hesitant on what the prices were going to be. I made my real early videos and I speculated. I said, one of the prices I felt comfortable with, this is before we knew how much was going to be released, how large the actual print was going to be. And I mentioned in one of my real early videos, I was going to feel comfortable at $1,000 a case. So if you don't know, Japanese 151 booster boxes, there's 12 boxes because it is a main expansion. It's not a specialty set. So it came out to be like $83 a booster box. And this was before we knew any of the actual quantities that were going to be released. And then as soon as we had real early numbers, I came out, I made a video, and I said, I don't feel comfortable at $1,000 anymore. I think prices are going to start to go pretty low. And the problem was I was hearing a lot of different things from people that I do trust. It's not like I was hearing things from people that weren't trustworthy, but I was hearing a really lot of like contradictory information. I was hearing some from like people I trust saying the prints were going to be really low. Other people I really trust in this hobby were telling me that the prints were going to be massive, that we weren't going to see all the supply hit to the later. And then other people were saying, no, what we're seeing now is all the cases coming through, and then maybe later we'll see booster boxes, but this is it. And the information coming out was just so contradictory. And another thing also happened at the exact same time where it kind of ran out a lot of like extra money, because I went really hard with Battle Styles. I went really hard with Lost Origins. So by the time this reprint came out, I wasn't really in like the greatest, cash available situation, which kind of helped my situation. But I sat back and I waited. And one of the things when I was at Nick Old School Pokemon's house, if you guys don't know, me, Dan, Catch 'em All Collectibles, we're up at Nick's house. Jake stopped by, but we were there because we wanted to see like the eBay Live back end. And one of the things me and Dan talked about a pretty decent amount there was the Japanese 151 reprint. And, we were talking about like one of Dan's suppliers that he's been buying a lot of products from. I was talking to Dan about a lot of the prices he was purchasing that. And, Dan's Dan's a whale. Whether Dan wants to admit, don't let Dan know. Dan, if you're out there, put your fingers in your ears and hum. But Dan was acquiring a lot, and I told Dan straight up, told him to his face, I was like, Dan, I don't really feel comfortable with these prices. One, the price volatility is super crazy right now, and the weird thing happened was a lot of people dumped in. We saw at the very early $80 booster boxes, and then almost overnight we saw booster boxes jump back up to $100, and it was too weird for me. I didn't like it. I felt that the supply hadn't really hit the market yet. So a lot of the people that I was reaching out to trying to get box prices, case prices from, you know, it all just felt too high to me. And I literally messaged some of these people and I said, I am going to wait right now. I'm not going to pick up any. And if prices continue to go up and maybe that this was their bottom price, that will be on me and that will just be something I had to live with. And I literally messaged this to like multiple people trying to get good prices. And then the point finally came where I was just like, I still think prices are going to drop, and I don't really have a lot of available, capital. When the reprint announcement was originally announced, I was going to be in the market for 10 cases. 10 cases was where I felt comfortable with, and I told you originally, $1,000 per case, so I was happy dumping $10,000 into Pokemon 151. After Battle Styles, after Lost Origin, that number has dwindled down to now I was looking at like I would be comfortable with 3 cases. And 3 cases, I'm comfortable at like $700 a case. That brings me to like 2,100. So we are a big numbers away from where I was originally going to buy in at 10,000 to where I eventually like, kind of now feel more comfortable around that $700 a case. And it was funny too because I don't know why things in this hobby work out this way, but I was starting to get multiple messages from multiple people telling me like, "Hey, if you haven't picked up Japanese 151, here's really good prices." And I'm willing to pay a little bit of a premium to buy from somebody if one of my friends could vouch for that person, opposed to random Instagram account, random YouTube account, random Twitter account, I don't know, TikTok, whatever, like some random account that nobody's ever heard of. And if you're just gonna, because now at this point, you got to keep in mind, in a small way, you are blindly sending money to people, whether it's Venmo or PayPal, or you could do the PayPal goods and services, but depending on the person, like you're probably gonna have to do friends and family, or again, you gotta. I don't recommend ever sending money to anybody you don't know unless you could really vet this person, or somebody you trust in this hobby can vet that person. But then I started to look at prices, and you could pick up Japanese 151 booster boxes between $50 and $60 right now. If you're gonna get cases, I have noticed that it's a small case premium, but not crazy. One of the people that reached out to me, one of my good friends in the hobby, I don't want to mention their name because I don't want to like accidentally blow up their inbox or anything, but it's a good friend of mine in the hobby, somebody I respect a ton. The price difference that he sent me for a single box versus a sealed case, in order to get the sealed case premium, you're spending about $3 per box extra. So 12 times 3, that's an extra $36. So take it as you want, right? But I wanted the sealed case premium, so I finally just made the decision, you know what? I'm finally going to do it. I have, at the time of recording this video, I haven't actually pulled the trigger. So that is a kind of, well, I guess it is a true, because I'm reading the title. I think I'm finally ready to buy Japanese Pokemon 151. Obviously, you got to throw Pokemon into the title because of the algorithm in case somebody searches Pokemon. But I think I'm finally ready. I think I've just, between that $50 and $60 range, and now I look at it, I'm trying to really look at, like, what's my worst case scenario? So my worst case scenario, and this is all my opinion, my worst case scenario is maybe I lose $10 a box, so $120 per case. If the price drops $10 from where I'm buying it, if it drops 20, which I find highly unlikely, because at that point, where I see I'm buying myself in right now today, my price is so low that if it does drop another $20, so let's say I'm picking up booster boxes of 151 now, between what is my worst case scenario is a $20 drop, so that $35 mark. If boxes drop down to $35, I will be buying back in, so I will be acquiring more cases, and then I'll just price cost average myself. But the problem is I bought so much damn Brilliant Stars and so much damn Lost Origin, which Lost Origin's doing good. Brilliant Stars isn't doing bad. There's a lot of sellers right now on TCG Player, especially for Brilliant Stars, really holding that price sub $200. It shows you the effect very, very few sellers, especially when it comes to sealed product, could really, really keep a floor on product temporarily. And even Lost Origins doing pretty good at 225. Like, none of these were losses by any stretch of the imagination. It's just the problem with sealed product is you're in a way well, it's not in a way. You're definitely investing in sealed product, but as you're investing in sealed product, money is very, very stagnant. Now, it's still going up on paper. Like, on paper you're making money, but in reality you're not able to flip that, you're not turning and burning it, so it does feel like it's a lot of money locked away. And I think Lost Origin, I talked about it on a previous video that I'm probably gonna free up a couple cases at 250 when boxes hit 250, just to kind of get liquid again. maybe I'll sell like 2 cases of Lost Origin at $250 a booster box. I don't know. There's a lot going on right now. And so now that brings me to a lot going on. So, New Jersey Collecticon. I finally locked in a table. I am going to have one table at the Jersey Collecticon. I was really, really hemming and hawing if I wanted to actually vend Jersey Collecticon, if I wanted to just walk around. I figured if I walked around by that point, which, if you guys are really deciding on one Collecticon this year, I do recommend Jersey. The only reason I recommend Jersey for you is the truth of the matter and the fact of the matter is Jersey's probably not going to be the best convention hall. The hotel is definitely not the most ideal. It's about 20-minute ride from the, recommended hotel to the convention hall. I talked to Cool Trainer Ryan about it's in Edison, New Jersey. This is coming from Ryan. When I talked to Ryan about Edison, he said Edison's a shithole. So there's not a lot really like screaming that Jersey's going to be a great one, but it is screaming that it's going to be a great one from a lot of the people I'm talking to and a lot of people in this space, in this circle. It does seem like this will be one of the events that a lot of people are going to flock to. So if you do want to go the Collecticon for more the social aspect of it and maybe not just strictly the buying and selling, I do feel that Jersey will be one of the stronger Collecticons in that sense. And if you are a fan of this channel, that will be one of the ones I'll be going to. So I do recommend that. And I made the same recommendation for Charlotte last year. And for those people that did go to Charlotte, again, Charlotte's not the best convention hall, might not have the best hotel, but the group of people that traveled to Charlotte was a very, very strong group of people in this hobby, and it was a ton of fun. And I think Jersey this year will be the same sort of like dynamic. So if you're deciding to pick one, I do recommend picking Jersey. If you live in the northeast part of the United States, Canada, I'm still going to talk about you, Canada, but if you live in the northeast part of the United States and you're going to try to go the one, maybe Jersey's one. But the thing is I wasn't sure if I wanted to vend, but because it's in driving distance, and I'm just going to be able to like load up my car with a bunch of product that maybe I wouldn't be able to potentially sell if I was flying, because if you're flying, you're probably shipping a lot of stuff one of two ways. One, you're shipping to the hotel, which if you guys don't know, I think it was Heritage Auctions or one of the auction companies had a like $1 million+ stolen from I don't remember which auction company. I want to say it was Heritage, but I'm not sure off the top of my head. But they had like $1 million+ stolen from the hotel because they shipped it to the hotel and then one of the people there stole it. And then another thing you can do is you can ship like flat rate boxes to people you trust in the hobby that are going to be at that Collecticon, live in that area. But that's all added stuff, and you could only ship so much before shipping fees really start to eat into a lot of stuff. So, and then when I went down to the Charlotte Collecticon, I went with Nick Old School Pokemon, Jake Pokenomics. We were in the car together, but space was limited. So I couldn't just bring a ton of stuff. I mean, the trunk was already full. I had like a big suitcase with me that had like all these slabs in it, and it was just sitting in the back seat, like right next to me on the drive down to Charlotte. So because space is limited in somebody else's car, you don't want to monopolize that. So having my own car, I'm just like, I gotta do it. But I think I'm going to do a very, very hybrid style of vending. I think I'm going to get there real early because I'm going to have the vendor badge. I'm going to walk around to a bunch of the different booths. I'm going to probably not set up my stuff right away until, that initial rush of people starts coming in Saturday morning. Then I'll probably vend all day Saturday. I might take a couple breaks if there's people out there that I do know that are in this chat, people that I trust. If they're tired of walking around and they're fine with standing behind my table, they could stand behind my table, and then I probably won't vend at all on Sunday. And if I do vend, I might throw a couple cards out there here and there, but I'm not going to be taking on consignments this weekend. I'm not going to be, or the July 20th weekend. I'm not going to be doing any of that. I'm just going to be really enjoying my time. And the problem is like 2 weeks after, then we have the Charlotte Collecticon, and if you guys know, the secret lies with Charlotte. Let me know down in the chat. The secret lies with Charlotte. What movie is that from? You win a prize. But it's true. The secret lies with Charlotte. So Charlotte's gonna be a lot of fun. The problem is it's like 2 weekends right next to each other, so I gotta really, really start hoping my wife will let me go to Charlotte. I'm already leaning towards she'll probably kill me, but it is what it is. And then the next thing I want to talk about, and something like I mentioned, I don't normally do. I want to talk about like crazy prices going on right now in this market. So I want to bring up big shout out to my old friend, Mr. James from Z&J Emporium. Even though James has not given me a promo code, but listen, James is going through a lot of stuff. If you guys aren't up to date with like what's going on with Z&G, we'll go on. We'll give him a little shout out, even though I don't have a promo code. He's going to be temporarily closed. Last auctions will be going, so him and his family, they're moving from where they're currently based right now, and they're going to be moving locations. So in during that moving time, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. But either way, James isn't taking on consignments right now, but these are his rates. Even though I don't have a PK promo code, someday when James picks back up, maybe I'll get that code. But I want to talk about a bunch of his posts, because one thing James does is he shows like a lot of current auctions and some of the price disparities between stuff. Like, here's a great example. So if you guys are not familiar with this, this is the Snorlax. This was a Japanese promo. It was a Domino's Pizza promo. The price difference in a Beckett 10 versus a Beckett Black Label, like these, and everything he posts are always confirmed sales, so you don't have to worry about James throwing up prices for items that are not paid for. But the price disparity between a 10 and a Black Label, look at the price disparity. $466 in just the regular 10 versus $3,850. And you gotta keep in mind, what separates this card, these two cards, is this: zero.5 edges. And if you've ever submitted to Beckett, if you've ever submitted to just any grading card, if you've ever looked at a Beckett Black Label, if you've ever looked at a Beckett Gold Label, we're just talking the most minute of details. And the unfortunate reality of this hobby is this Beckett Black Label. If you crack this card and you resubmitted it to Beckett 10 times in a row, and I mean you crack it, it's a perfect crack, you don't do any damage to the card whatsoever. If you resubmit this card to Beckett 20 times, in my opinion, you never can get this Black Label again. It is the most subjective grading in this hobby, but here we go. Like, it's crazy price disparities. And, one of the things James showed on a recent post is just modern Pokemon. Paradox Rift, Temporal Forces. I made a live, and I pulled up this Gengar full art card. At the time, it was selling for $10. I don't even know what current TCG player prices are, but I was like, I really like this Gengar. I really like it at $10. And I even clicked on it in that video, and I was seeing if anybody was selling in quantities of it. You buy a $10 card. This is still modern Pokemon. The print quality for this is not terrible. You could buy in bulk for a lot of these cards, pre-grade them. Anything that you feel is not a 10, you can sell back onto the market. I know it's a little bit of work, and a lot of people don't want to really hear it, but in order to grade, at the time, a $10 raw card, you can source a bunch of those cards at $10. Spend the $15 to grade it, and that's at a time when now grading fees are technically like $13.99 if you took advantage of the specials and stuff. But huge premiums right now for these cards in the raw versus graded prices, and the ability to buy, right, you can source all these cards. These cards are super modern cards, especially current modern cards, are the most sourceable cards in the hobby. What are you doing? If you're not doing this stuff, if you're not grading this, if you're not, like, what are you doing? What are you grading? There's so much money to be made in this hobby right now. James literally, like, spells it out in this Instagram post. So, thank you, James, for helping me make a video. Do all the work for me. But again, Champion's Path Charizard. Beckett Black Label. Uh, I was about to say Generations. Evolutions. Wow, thank you. Evolutions. Charizard. Just the regular EX, nothing special. Again, XY print quality. Evolution's print quality, pretty bad, but still, the price for Beckett Black Labels that people are paying are wild. This is a tough one. Price disparity between a CGC 10 versus English 10. Obviously, $400 difference. Little different. It's not a perfect one-to-one. Obviously, you got English first edition versus the Japanese. So, it's not a super easy comparable one-to-one, but it has become very obvious that Shine and Raichu's sell for a substantially, or CGC's cards sell for substantially less. James, if you're out there watching this video, I still have all the cards James sent me with these green labels. I promise you I'm going to get around. That is, mark my words, that is my goal for this weekend. I will finally make that. How to spot an ink card. This is one of the cards James sent me. James sent me some heaters, guys. So, yes, I promise that video will be coming out by, I'm going to give myself till Tuesday. All right. So Tuesday is, what is Tuesday? Tuesday, June 4th. By Tuesday, June 4th, you will finally get that How to Spot an Ink Pokemon card video. Again, price disparity. Japanese Charizard, obviously the Alt-Art Charizard from Brilliant Stars. This is a Japanese version. What is it? Starbirth. $9.5. $102. Black Label. $32.50. The sad reality of a card like this. This 9.5, you could crack this 9.5, resubmit it 20 times. The same way as I said that Black Label Domino Snorlax, you'll never be able to repeat it 20 times. This 9.5, in my opinion, if you submitted it 20 times, you might get the Black Label. But it's just, you'll never be able to repeat the Black Label, but if you've never got it in the first place, you might have a chance. The price to spare. I mean, 9.5s for Beckett, if you've ever submitted to Beckett, are perfect. I got destroyed on 9.5s with Beckett. Bunch of Chinese cards. All fan favorite Pokemon. Charizard, Pikachu's, you know, like super easily sourceable. $2.99 cards, destroyed on grading fees because I got hit with 9.5s and gold label 10s. I only needed like 1 or 2 black labels to make it all worth my while. Couldn't hit the black label, save my life, but the price disparity, crazy. These are just some of the cards he had up. Stolen Gold Star Dogs, what else is new? This is wild. This is wild. Dark Tyranitar from Neo Destiny. First edition, obviously, English, $371 in a 9. French, first edition. This is a PSA 9. 9. These are confirmed sales. Do you understand? I mean, look at this. This is a French first edition 9. $5,701. Listen, I'm in the wrong area of the hobby. I'm doing English. I don't know what I'm doing here. I got piles of cards. I got piles of cards over there in different languages. We gotta find them. Oh, do we want to find them? Do I want to walk away from my computer? We're gonna walk away. We will come. You guys. Ooh, some cards worth grading. Maybe some cards that aren't. Okay, here we go. None of these are English. None of these are English. They're all different languages. Is this it? Is this what we gotta do? Just different languages. I think these are Italian. Maybe there's a couple French in here. They're all reverses and stuff, but is this what? Is this what we gotta do? Just grade this? What is this card sell for? A reverse Articuno. Good grade. I think it's Italian. It might be Italian. I gotta look up. Might be Italian. Might not be French. But still, is that it? We just find different languages and like this later WotC stuff. I was gonna call this late WotC, but I guess Neo Destiny is kind of late WotC. I mean, if you're gonna, yeah, sure, we're gonna say Neo Destiny is late WotC because you got, Neo Destiny Legendary Collection Expedition Aquapolis Skyridge. So sure, it's in the later half, but this is a wild price. I'm doing the wrong stuff in this hobby when I see sales like this. Price disparity. Beckett Black Label versus a PSA 10. 11,000 versus, I mean, wild. Just look at this price again. I get it. This was a $20 to $25 card at release. Non-graded, obviously. Shout out to Danny Phantom. I think he brings up his actual sold listings of this Latios Latias when Team Up was originally released. $25. Raw card this was. Oh my god. We live in a crazy world. PSA 10, $61. PSA or Beckett Black Label. I know, trust me. I tried to grade a lot of these cards, but I need to be willing to send more to Beckett and not just do what I blindly do, blindly send. Legendary Treasures, great set. Still, the Beckett Black Label Premium. I mean, it's nice that James actually shows. Yeah, we don't care about One Piece, James. Again, final prices paid. This is wild. Current bids for a 9.5 Rayquaza Gold Star from Deoxys, $5,000. I wonder what these ended up selling for. Final prices paid. Look at. So this is pretty interesting though. So both Japanese Expedition Charizards for the CGC Pristine. This is interesting to see that this has a little bit of a premium. But now this is that thing where if you had a truly pristine card, if you believe in this pristine grade, if you do believe that this is the equivalent of like a Beckett Black Label, the amount of money that was potentially left on the table by grading with CGC opposed to Beckett is wild. And this is not a Beckett shill. I'm just telling you. I look at these prices and I'm just amazed. I'm mesmerized by the. I'm not the person buying the Beckett Black Label. I don't know who. I kind of know some of the people, but I don't know all the people. How deep people's pockets have to be. This is the most graded modern Pokemon card that exists. This card in a PSA 10, there's probably 60,000 of these graded. That Beckett Black Label Premium, such a huge jump. I do love me some Squirtle from, this is the 2002 McDonald's promos. So, if you don't know, these cards are special. So, you got the Squirtle, but then you also have, like, the Bulbasaur at the same time. The Bulbasaur is doing, like, a Vine Whip, but it's making the M for the McDonald's M. The Charmander's a great artwork. The Pikachu's a great artwork. Even, like, the random energy cards, like, with the hollow, like, energies they did. Beautiful. What's the one that there's, oh, God. Who's eating the hamburger? Oh, my God, I can't think of the name. There's one of... Who's eating the... There's a card. The guy, he's eating the hamburger. Oh, my God. Who does T-Tar evolve from? Oh, my God. What's going on with my brain? Anyways, I'm not looking at the chat right now. Somebody tell me in the chat, please, for the love of God, who's eating the hamburger in that set. But either way, great set. Beautiful cards. So you could see where those cards wound up. That card wound up a lot higher. So I think that's it. Oh, wait. Here we go. So that SIG market, there is a premium. I mean, Mint 9, this card is graded authentic versus... So obviously it's got a Rita Auto and a 10. Yeah. Pupitar, yeah, thank you. Somebody finally said it in the chat. But anyways, PSA 9 versus the auto. I mean, this card is probably like PSA 6 contender. I mean, the front looks clean, but to add that auto, the signature market's real, man. I mean, it's a wild price disparity because this card is definitely the better conditioned card. But $800 premium for autos. This was obviously fake. This is one of those things in this hobby where how people just run with false information. This card sold for $5,000. It was never paid for, but the amount of different like Instagram reels I saw talking about this card, the YouTube pages people were talking about this card, the TikToks people, it was just a fake sale. It was never paid for. James came out right away and said this card was not paid for, but the amount of people that cling on to fake auctions is wild. Let's see. Yeah, this did get paid. I mean, the Umbreon's doing Umbreon things, just crazy premiums. I do love this. Stormfront Charmander. So if you don't know, this Charmander is just reimagined artwork for base set. I don't know if I have a base set Charmander close by. But it's just reimagined artwork. Oh yeah, so I do actually. So this Charmander, if you look, this is just an original base set Charmander. But if you look at this artwork, this is from Stormfront. So there's 3 secret rares in Stormfront. There was this Charmander, a Charmeleon, and a Charizard. And it's all done by Masahiro Arita, but it was all reimagined for this set. So it is that original artwork, but he redid it a little bit. So, beautiful card. This card in a 10, being a secret rare from Stormfront. Stormfront being, you know, the last set of Diamond and Pearl. Because keep in mind, you got 7 sets. I always tell people that I saw like I want to say it was an Instagram reel. Somebody tagged me in it. I forget who tagged me in it. Somebody tagged me in this reel. I sorry if you tagged me in it. I'm sorry that I forgot. But it was an Instagram reel where they were just walking around at Collecticon asking a lot of people like to name all the Pokemon sets in order. And there are like cheats you can do for yourself in order to remember a lot of these sets. Like, so obviously for like the original WotC, one of the ones that a lot of people always forget is base set 2. So you always just say base set, jungle, fossil, and what a lot of people will do is they'll instantly say Team Rocket, but base set 2 came before it. So then it's base set 2, Team Rocket, and then gyms. And then Gym Heroes always comes before Gym Challenge, so there's 2 gyms. So Gym Heroes, Gym Challenge. Then for the Neos, there's 4 Neos. And the way you remember is obviously you got Neo Gen base, but then the way I always remember is what set doesn't have the shinies. So if you don't know what set doesn't have the shining Pokemon, you can then know which order to go in. So then you know it's Neo Discovery comes next. Then you have 2 shining sets, and Neo Rev only has the 2 shinies, which is the Gyarados and the Magikarp. And if you remember the order of those cards, Neo Rev has 64 cards in it, and number 65 is the Gyarados, and Magikarp is number 66. And if you've ever been like deep down the rabbit hole, you know people talk like, well, technically, and Rusty just made a post the other day, or just today, talking about Gyarados is the first shining, but Magikarp comes before Gyarados in that evolution chain. So you always remember, okay, well, Neo Rev only has the 2 shinings. Well, then that means that Neo Destiny was the last set. Neo Destiny, obviously, I pulled up this Raichu right here, has the best shining because it has that Raichu. So then it's really easy. So you just mentioned the 4 Neos, and then Legendary Collection is kind of a standalone. Then real easy. Expedition, Aquapolis, Skyridge. Skyridge the end. And then you get into those like Nintendo timelines. And always remember, during like, so Skyridge came out May of 2003, and like one of the things, if you're deep into like the history of Pokemon, you understand that there was a lot of arguments that happened between Pokemon and Nintendo was poaching a lot of these Wizard of the Coast employees, and that's when like the whole e-reader timeline goes on. But then you could know like, okay, well, Ruby Sapphire was this timeline, so then Ruby Sapphire, Sandstorm, EX Dragon, and then Team Aqua, Team Magma is like one of those sets a lot of people forget. And then same thing with Hidden Legends. It's one of those sets that a lot of people like kind of forget. But before you get into the gold stars, you gotta always remember like, well, what's one of the best regular EX sets? And then that's Fire Red Leaf Green. So you know Fire Red Leaf Green comes after Hidden Legends, and then you get into your actual gold star sets. And then gold stars, it's pretty easy as long as you know that Team Rocket Returns is that first gold star set, and then you go into your Deoxys and Emerald, and then Unseen Forces and Legend Maker, and then you get out of those kind of sets, and then you get into like the later end of the Nintendo timeline, and then Hollow Phantoms, Crystal Guardians, Dragon Frontiers, and then if you know the last gold star set, Power Keepers. But then what I'm finally getting to is now the cheat is if we're into Diamond and Pearl. If you just remember, well, there's 7 sets of Diamond and Pearl, and if you know that there's 7 sets, you know you end with Stormfront, because Stormfront is the last of the Diamond and Pearl sets. So then you just, it's a matter of just kind of remembering like the order of them before that. And one of the ways I always remembered is I love Secret Wonders, because with the exception of Stormfront, Secret Wonders is my favorite Diamond and Pearl set, but I know that Secret Wonders is the 3rd set of Diamond and Pearl, so it kind of gives me a baseline already in my head to know where that order is. So then you always say Diamond and Pearl base, Mysterious Treasures, and then into Secret Wonders, which is my favorite set, and then Great Encounters. So then you already could think in your head, it's like Diamond Pearl base, Mysterious Treasures, what the hell was that? Secret Wonders, Great Encounters, and so you're already at 4, and you already know what number 7 is. So then it's just a matter of like, well, what are the other 2 remaining Diamond and Pearl sets? So then you got Legends Awaken, so it's Legend Awaken 5, or does Legend Awaken come right before Stormfront? You know, so, and it goes right before Stormfront. So, anyways, these are just like the ways I remember all this stuff, and then it's the same thing. So after Diamond and Pearl, it's like, well, what came after Diamond and Pearl? There's the Platinum sets, and then if you remember, there's 4 Platinum sets. Obviously, you have Platinum base is the first one, and then you have Arceus is before that. So then the way to remember those is, well, is it Rise and Rivals, Supreme Victors, or Supreme Victors, Rise and Rivals? And then it's pretty easy if you just remember the secret rares. If you remember the secret rare, which the same way that Stormfront had the reimagined Charmander, well, Rise and Rivals has that reimagined Pikachu. And it's the same thing with like Platinum when you have the reimagine with the Hitmonchan. So if you know like the secret rares of the set, you know that, well, all these cards came from base set. So then you could kind of in your head put the order together of these sets. So then it becomes really easy. Well, Platinum comes first, then Rise and Rival because of that secret rare Pikachu. Then when you talk about like, you know, Rise and Rival, Supreme Victors, and then obviously Arceus is kind of just like this whole standalone thing. And then, you know, then you get into your Heart Gold Soul Silvers and stuff, and then Heart Gold Soul Silver, it's the same way. It's just Heart Gold Soul Silver, and then if you start to remember the primes and you know which primes are in which, then it's like Heart Gold Soul Silver base, Unleashed, Undaunted, Triumphant, and then Call of Legends is the one that like people always kind of forget until you get into your Black and Whites. And then Black and Whites is another one. It's just like if you could just remember the secret rares of the set, you know, what were the first secret rares? It's the Zekrom and Reshiram, and then the secret rare Pikachu. Well, that's Black and White base. And then when you think about emergent powers, I think I have the Tornadus here. Yeah. Sorry. Not the Tornadus. I have the Thundurus in front of me. So then it's like emergent powers. It's like, well, how many secret rares are emergent powers? And then it's like, well, 2. And you remember the order that way, too, until you get to, like, Noble Victories. And you start to remember the Victini. And you just do all this. And you could get yourself all the way from base set. And you can make yourself through Black and White. And Black and White's the same thing. There's 7 sets in Black and White. So we already said 3. So you said Black and White base, Emergent Powers, Noble Victories, and then you got to think in your head, like, which sets come next in that line. And then it's Next Destinies, and into Dark Explorers, Dragons Exalted, and then After you get past Dragons Exalted, then you could start to remember the platinums. Or, not, not platinums, plasmas. And then the way I remember plasmas is it's reverse alphabetical order. So, reverse alphabetical order: Plasma Storm, Plasma Freeze, Plasma Blast. So, S, F, B. That's the way I remember it in my head. So, it's real easy if you're just like, which one comes first? Plasma Storm, Plasma Freeze, Plasma Blast, and then you go into Legendary Treasures, and then it brings you into your Sun and Moon, and then or sorry, not into Sun and Moon, to your XYs, and then XYs is the same thing. It's just like remembering orders of sets. And for me, it's like, well, what were the more rare ones? It's like, well, XY base, Flash Fire, and then like, is it Furious Fits? Is it Furious Fists? And then, or is it, the F ones? Is it Fates Collide? Well, it's not Fates Collide because Fates Collide is at the end of XY. So it's just a lot of this is just figuring out a way in your brain to make all this stuff work, and then you can make it through modern real easy. So XY, Sun and Moon, everybody knows Sword and Shield, and then probably everybody out there knows Scarlet and Violet base, but it's just how do you phrase this? And it's important if you know all the sets, if you know all the numbers, if you know all the cards. But I know that was a long-winded rant just because of Stormfront Charmander. But even this price disparity between PSA 10 CGC, like if people are grading with CGC, though, you're leaving a lot of money on the table, especially when you talk about percentages. This is a huge percentage from 227 to 157. You gotta assume, if you believe in CGC's grading abilities, that these are very easy to cross grade and stuff. All right, that's enough of that. Just want to show you that. We'll click off of that. Sorry, I went off on a tangent. PK does tangents. I'm sorry. But it's important if you... One of the reasons I enjoy this is because I feel like for this hobby, if you just kind of know, you don't have to be... And this is one of the things I talk about. Nobody's going to be a master at everything, and anybody that tells you they're a master at everything is lying. But it's really easy to start whittling down your knowledge in this hobby, and if you just do something as simple as just understanding the hits of sets, understanding the hits of especially some of this older stuff, there's not a ton of hits to it. I mentioned it, those real early sets, it's literally just the hollows. Base set has 16 hollows in it, and if you think real hard, you'll figure out the secret that is base set hollows, and you'll be able to start with number 1, which is the Alakazam, and you'll wind up at number 16, which is the Zapdos, because they're literally in alphabetical order. There's no thought process that's involved. That's why, as long as you know there's an Alakazam and you know that there's a Blastoise, and then you can figure out in your head real quick, well, Clefairy versus Chansey, which one comes first in the alphabet? And then Charizard, you got Chansey, Clefairy, Charizard, and then you kind of figure it out in your head. Well, CH comes before CL, so that means that the Charizard is number 4, and the Chansey is number 3, and the Clefairy must be number 5 because there's 3 C's. It's just all alphabetical, but it's just so easy to figure out orders of cards, and you just got to learn the tricks. It's just like base set is alphabetical. It's 16 cards. It's easy. And then it's the same thing with Jungle. You learn how things are done. You learn the numbering system for Pokemon. A lot of Pokemon is alphabetical. And then when you're finally introduced to secret rares, which doesn't happen till set number 5 at that point, which is Team Rocket Returns, and the Dark Raichu, there's literally only one secret rare in that set. It's 83 out of 82. So then you start to learn the numbers. It's all muscle memory, but then you know how many cards are in the set. And then once you know how many cards are in the set, whether it's, base set's 102, or I just mentioned Team Rocket is 82, 83 being the secret rare Raichu, and then you can start to think in your head, well, how many hits are in this set? And then you can start to understand pull rates. If you start to understand how many packs does it take to open, and how many hits are you going to get per booster box? When you're talking WotC, you're probably going to get 12 hits per box. So then you start to get in your head an understanding of the rarity, and then you start to understand, well, what were the secret rare pull rates like, until eventually then you get into your crystals with Aquapolis and Sky. Well, before that you get into your shinies, because then you're talking Neo Rev, Neo Destiny, and those are your shinies. And then you go into your crystals with Aquapolis and Skyridge, and then you really get an understanding for pull rates for Aquapolis, because at least those weren't in reverse hollow, where in Skyridge, they are both reverse hollow and hollow. So then you could kind of understand that way till you get into those EXs, until eventually you get to that Team Rocket Returns, like I mentioned earlier. And then that's an introductory of Gold Stars. And then you start to understand the Gold Star pull rates, which is 1 out of every 72 packs. But modern Pokemon is a million different freaking packs you gotta open. You gotta open up 3,000 packs to pull a hit. It's crazy. All right. Sorry. I'm very long-winded. Mason Cardinal Games out there. Mason, big shout out to Mason. Don't be like Mason. Mason doesn't hit the like button. Do me a favor. Hit the like button. Don't be like Mason. But, to quote Mason, leave the ranting up to PK. I got you, Mason. I'm looking out for you, buddy. Pokemon Collector, good to see you. I don't even remember what I started. I was talking about Pokemon 151. Shout out to #1 mod in the game, newest dad in the game, Drew. Good to see you, Drew, buddy. Basic Trainer says reprint everything. Yes. Let's see. I don't see any questions. I just see a lot of people saying hi. Shug Nasty, good to see you. Pokekid, good to see you. Ancient Mew said, PK, do you buy Lorcana? No. Just never got into Lorcana. Never really found like good price entry points that I kind of felt comfortable picking up Lorcana. I don't even pick up like Magic. I have a couple Magic boxes over there, but I'm not even into Magic. And then so I have some One Piece. If you guys watch this channel for a while, you remember when One Piece came out, I bought it like the first week. Happened to get a blue bottom box. I bought the first 3 sets of One Piece, sold my blue bottom box, still have the second 2 sets. Again, not really comfortable with One Piece prices. Then I backed Sorcery TCG. If you guys have been following this channel, you remember I got an entire sealed case of Sorcery TCG. I got 2 of the starter decks because I backed the Kickstarter. I also got like the Kickstarter promo pack. Sold my entire sealed case of Sorcery Alpha booster boxes in person. Drove to a shop in New York City. Did a big cash deal. And then I ended up selling the starter decks too. So I'm completely out of Sorcery. Sorcery was just one of those things I wanted to back it because I thought it was going to be interesting. Shout out to Josh, the old card shop. Before our orders were delivered, Josh was the only person I really got to talk to because Josh had also pre-ordered. I think Josh ended up selling his boxes for, I don't want to misquote it, but around $500 each. And then I just sat on mine until eventually the boxes reached over $1,000 a piece. And I was sitting on a sealed case of 6 of them. And the sealed case was having a little bit of a premium. I'm like, no, I don't even know what's in this. Why am I sitting on a sealed case of a $6,000+ Sorcery Alpha TCG? Something that I spent like, I forget, it was like in New Zealand dollars or something when I backed the Kickstarter. So I sold that. So I guess I've been in like a couple modern stuff, but even like Star Wars right now. I know Star Wars is popping off. Got a couple of Dragon Ball boxes. Nothing crazy, nothing vintage for sure. A couple Yu-Gi-Oh boxes. Obviously, you guys know I'm a big MetaZoo. Got a MetaZoo Kickstarter booster box. Half the box left. Mothman was never pulled, by the way. So I will assume that. And the irony of MetaZoo is I only own 2 MetaZoo. Or sorry, I own 3 MetaZoo boxes. 1 UFO, 1 of Cryptic Nation 2nd edition, and then a Kickstarter box. So for somebody who's not even a MetaZoo fan, I own a Kickstarter MetaZoo box. Only half a box, but still. Got some seal packs left. But yeah, Disney Lorcana is just something I never really got into. Probably should have. PokeKid said, PK, do they have scooters for downtown Edison, New Jersey? I don't know. But I'm sure they have bars. I'm sure they have delicious beers. I'm sure if you guys don't drink, they have delicious restaurants with delicious food, with great people. That's all you need. You want to know the secret of Pokemon? Remove yourself from the money, remove yourself from the cards, remove yourself from everything in this hobby. The secret of Pokemon is very simple. Good people, good food, good times. Put it on a shirt. Dan, catch more collectibles. Put it on a shirt. Good people, good food, good times. And if you want to add in, Dan, good food, good people, good drinks, good times, put on a shirt. So Pokebondo said 151 will be a set people reach back to once Scarlet and Violet starts to wrap up, but patience is a key. If you're just quick flipping, then there's better options right now. What's better than one? Well, everything's going up right now. I take that back. There's everything. Everything that Pokemon touches. It's like that scene from The Lion King where Mufasa's sitting on the hill with Simba and he's looking out and he's like, "You see this, Simba? Everything the light touches is yours." And then that's Pokemon. Pokemon is the light shining down on the Sahara. And everything is yours except for that dark place. That dark place over there is trying to get back at Black Labels. Okay, there is a dark place in this. Okay, there's a couple dark places. We can do the whole, what would be the elephant boneyard graveyard of Pokemon. And then, okay, there's a lot of elephant, like, boneyards. But there's a lot of light. There's more light than there is darkness. And that is Pokemon for you. Ancient Mew, where have you been, buddy? I haven't seen you in the chat very much lately, but I see you now, which is good. Yeah, so Pokebondo says, Hype Boys want all tarts when they're 400, not when they're 100. Has been happening the last few years, yeah. I talk about it all the time. If there's a card you really like, and you really, really want, and you think it's going to do good, and you're not just doing Pokemon as the collector, but you are doing it as the flipper, or the investor, but more importantly, as the speculator, pick up a couple of these. Why not? What's the worst that happens? Still got stupid James's without my promo code. I still got his Instagram up, looking at these prices of these cards, and it's wild. Here's one I missed. I should probably pull this up real quick. Real quick. Because this just happened to be the next slide, and I want to talk about this. But just so you guys know, there is a saying in this hobby, and it doesn't get said often enough anymore, but it still rings true. The riches are still in the niches. This is not a special card you're looking at on this screen. It is not a unattainable, super hard to pull card. You know, it might be a relatively tough card to grade because nobody's really grading regular hollows during the Heart Gold Soul Silver Undaunted era. But look at this card. This was a card that at one point in the hobby, going back to 2010 timeline, this was right around a bulk card. Maybe it was never quite bulk, but we're talking this was a $2 card, $1 card. Maybe never was a 10-cent card, but I wouldn't be surprised if this Umbreon wound up in some bulk bins for 10 cents. But at one point, this is a $2 card. The riches are still in the niches a little bit in this hobby. Not all the time. Even this. Legends Awakens. Regular Hollow. Dragonite. Legends Awakens. Kind of tough to grade a little bit. Umbreon. Umbreon doing Umbreon things. Pristine 10. You gotta love this hobby, right? You just gotta love Pokemon. Just gotta take a deep breath and just breathe it in. Breathe in Pokemon. Let it fill your soul. That's just sometimes what you gotta do with Pokemon. Just breathe it in. Just let it consume you. People out there that you don't understand how awesome this hobby is. How rewarding this hobby is. How forgiving this hobby is. It's really, really hard lately to do poor plays in this hobby. Why more people aren't doing I get the Beckett Black Label. If I had a doll, I don't have a doll. But if I had a doll, I could show you on that doll where Beckett hurt me. There's a lot of places. I get the Black Label thing. I get it. There are going to be people in the chat going, well, here, listen up, PK. typing up a storm, typing up a paper, saying, telling me why Beckett Black Labels have a crazy premium because they're hard to grade. I get it. I get it. But, there's always a but. A big but. I like big butts. Cannot lie. You can't deny, like, there's a huge premium. Not that many people send, cards to Beckett, too. So. PokeKid said, PK, your wife will definitely try to kill you for going to Charlotte after Jersey. Yes. But I've been slowly, convincing her. But, that's one of the reasons I had the vend at Jersey. I gotta come home with a bunch of money in Jersey. So, gotta figure out a way. Maybe I'll just bring... Gotta think this one through. I gotta bring some stuff to Jersey that I know will be super liquid, because then I could just hand her a bunch of cash. Like I mentioned that sorcery TCG, when I sold that case, I just handed all that money to my wife. I drove to New York for the day, came home, just slapped down, big wad, $100 bills, all hundreds, big wad, and I was just like, here you go. And she's like, okay. Because I always tell my wife I'm going to make money, and then the money never really comes in anymore. The money always comes out. So she was really happy to get a big stack of cash. I gave it to her, and sometimes you just gotta keep your wife happy. That's good advice, everybody out there watching this video at home. The key to a happy marriage, keep your wife happy. Because at the end of the day, you might think you're in charge. You might think you're the boss. But you're fooling yourself if you think that. Your wife is probably secretly in charge. And my wife is probably secretly in charge. But she does give me a wide berth when it comes to Pokemon. So she does have how do I phrase this? She has complete and utter faith and trust in me? Is that a way to put it? Did my voice just spike up a little bit? Did I peak my microphone? So my wife gives me a wide berth, and she has a lot of faith, but sometimes when the money just stops coming in, then I gotta throw a couple stacks, as the kids these days would say. So maybe so back to why I said that. If I could come home from Jersey with a big ass stack of cash, then maybe she'll be like, oh, you made this much at Jersey for a weekend? Well, okay. You can go to Charlotte, and then the problem, oh my God, Charlotte's going to cost me so much money because I'm going to have to give her a shitload of money after Jersey, and then I'm going to have to go to Charlotte and give her a shitload of cash again. These 2 trips are going to cost me 10 grand. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Pokemon. This is going to be the Charlotte trip and Jersey trip are going to end up being very expensive for me, but I think that's the way I can do it. Is it worth it to spend thousands of dollars to go to Charlotte? I'm leaning towards yes. So, we can make this work, ladies and gentlemen. It's just going to cost me. Forget flights, forget hotel rooms, add in stack of cash for wife. I'm going to write this down as a maybe. And I'm going to just write, go broke. Question mark? We'll circle back, and then I'll circle it, and then I'll draw an arrow to it, and then I'll circle back to it later. Let's see. Retro says, haven't caught up yet. Just saw the title and hopped in, but the man for 151 is insane. I posted an Instagram story when I got back from Collecticon and sold out in an hour. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I got a connection right out of Japan right now. So, good. I guess that's good. All prices included shipped. Good for me, I guess. Pokebondo says when it sells out and reprints aren't consistent and prices rises, then you'll see everyone wants 151 again. Yeah, I still like 151, and I really like the prices that I'm able to buy in for right now. So I'm just going to pull the trigger. I think that's tomorrow. Class AT12 says, PK, a while back you teased having a guest who's really important to the hobby's history, said they would bring a very unique perspective. Whatever happened to that? I got to reach back out to that person. That is still, thank you, Class A. Hopefully that happens soon, but I will let you know right before that live happens. And I think I did tell some people who that person is going to be, but it will still happen, hopefully. Let's see. So Felipe De Souza, he's one of those Canadian guys, I think. Good to see you. Felipe says, who are the people that pay these prices for black labels? At this point, they literally just buy in the label and not the card. Oh, yeah, 100%. Son of a Merc says, PK, how many times have you attempted the black label? James from Z&G Emporium, how many times has PK attempted the black label? Let's see. 100, 160-ish? It's hard. I lost track because there was a while where I hadn't got any of my returns back, and it was just like, send James 25 cards, 30 cards. Maybe it's not 150. Maybe it's less. Maybe it's like 120. Between 100 and 150 times, I have attempted and feel that the black label premium. But that is me sending like 100 plus perfect near mint, no, I shouldn't say near mint, gem mint quality cards and just getting raked by CGC. I sent him one card that at the time was black label and at a 40%, and I sent him 36. So I sent him 36 of the SV001 Chinese Pikachu. So at the time, like I said, they were 40% black label. I mean, these are cards that I have like 100%. I got a box of them right here. Like this card right here. 10, 10, 10. Like, I'll show you. So, let's see, how many 10s do I just have sitting in front of me? 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Okay. Here you go. I'll give you an example. Ready? 10, 10, 10. That's not a 10 anymore. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Super, super easy to grade these cards, right? Stick a price tag, $35, Pikachu, and a 10. You know, I think I was sourcing these. God, what the hell did I source them? I sourced them for at different prices, but I think the lowest I ever sourced these for was like $3. So $3 to grade, or sorry, $3 to pick up raw sealed. $15 to grade is all into them for like 18, but we'll just round up to say 20. Sell them for 35. Those sales have really dropped off a lot for those cards, and those are just the cards I had left. I don't even know how many of those cards I've sold through, like since they were released. 40, 50, I don't know. Super easy card to grade. Anyways, sent James 36 of them. At the time, 40% black label rate. Got a fucking zero black labels on those. I don't even know how many 10s I got. I want to say out of the 36, James would know the actual numbers, but like 4? I got like 4 Beckett 10s. Cards that I have like 100% 10 rate on. Destroyed. And you don't want to sell 9.5 Chinese SV001 promos. You want to know what ugly in this hobby looks like? That's ugly in this hobby. Let's see. So, Son of a Merc. Way too many. And I've been harmed. I'll show you on the dial. This is where they hurt PK. So, Damn Dan says, I can't understand PK. Oh, I know. I'm not selling my... Oh, okay. If I phrased it in that way, I misspoke. I need to sell my Lost Origin booster boxes to free up some cash, because I have way too many Lost Origin. I have way too many Brilliant Stars. It has nothing to do with selling to pick up Japanese 151. So, damn, that's not what I meant. Let's see. So, Sir Fisticuffs says, hey PK, thank you for the content. Never have time to watch live, but love listen to you at work. I appreciate that, Sir Fisticuffs. I love that name too. Sounds like it's like an Irish name. I feel like just an Irish fighter would be Sir Fisticuffs. Let's see. So Pokebondo says, I was going to buy a case of Evolving Skies for $1,000, but slacked. Some regrets, but at the time I wasn't confident because the market was very volatile. Now I get to learn from his mistakes. Hey man, $1,000, that's like whatever. That's like pretty much what you're paying from Pokemon Center, so like MSRP. Can't win them all, dude. It's alright. Oh, All right, I'm gonna keep trying the real quick. Scroll to the bottom. So Mick Nick says EX Dragon secret rares go hard. They do. So again, same way as I mentioned Stormfront, EX Dragon, Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard, secret rares, super beautiful cards. Now, one of the things cool about EX Dragons is even though they're the secret rares of the set, so EX Dragon is 97 cards in the set. So 98. Is it not? Wait. 97 is the Charmander, 98 is the Charmeleon, 99 is the Charizard, or is 100 the Charizard? Ooh, I don't know. I don't know how many are in Secret or EX Dragon. I don't even think I have any EX Dragon cards close. Either way, it's either the Secret Rare Charizard is not number 99 or 100, but I want to say there's 97 cards in EX Dragon, so that would make the Charmander 98, the Charmeleon 99. I want to say that the Charizard is number 100. But either way, the secret rares in that set are cool, but they also came out with like stamp promos. So like there was like the city championship, so you could get those same secret rares, but also with the stamps in the Charmander and the Charmeleon. So it is pretty cool. Like there's added layers to EX Dragon. So I do agree with you, McNick. EX Dragon secret rares do go hard. Ancient Mew said, PK, what do you like better? Mewtube from Shining Legends or Hypno from Aquapolis eating the dreams? For modern, I like the Mewtube, obviously, from Shining Legends. But for just overall artwork from like a more nostalgic standpoint, I gotta go with the Hypno from Aquapolis. Oh, jump to the bottom. Is that a sign? Is that a sign that I'm done? Alright. So, Baze Toy says, I just picked up 10 cases, wow, of Japanese 151. Biggest purchase I've made for a while. Confident the set will do well over time. I love the art. Yeah, if you got a good price point, yeah, man. So, Felipe De Sosa says, what about Canada? So, this is why I told you, if you guys are Canadian fans watching this channel, so on YouTube, there's this thing called YouTube Studio for creators. You can kind of see, like, your views, your subscribers, whatever you earn from the month and stuff. But randomly, YouTube Studio will like throw out a little survey, and you can kind of test yourself. It's like, this was your top performing video for the month. But then one of the questions was, where are most of your viewers? And I had two options. Or three options. I had United States, Canada, and UK. So I just instantly hit United States because I'm like, okay, most of my viewers come from the United States. No. This channel gets the majority of its viewers from Canada. So big shout out to all you Canadian DGens out there. I do appreciate you guys watching. Do appreciate you tuning in. So let me know down in the comments. Are you from Canada? Are you a DGen like us? Should we reach out more to our Canadian brethrens to the north? Yes. Maybe it's because it's the summertime and they're finally coming out of their igloos. Mick Nick, appreciate you, buddy. McNick came on. God, when was that? Oh God, time flies. McNick, was that 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago? McNick had a good live. If you guys had a chance to watch that, recommend you going back a few videos and checking that out. McNick's a good guy in the hobby. He's gonna be at the Jersey Collecticon. It's gonna be a lot of fun. The arcade said, PK, were you at Orlando? I was not, but I had some absolute FOMO seeing people's stories. The truest form of FOMO. But I got a job, I got kids, I got a wife. Mainly got the kids, though. So Fargus says, PK's wife is the real Pokey expert. When is she going to be on the podcast? Probably never. The way I explain my wife's, like, Pokemon knowledge, I know it's the name of my channel, but if you put my wife into a room of 100 random people, she would probably know more Pokemon knowledge than the other 99 people in the room. She would be the number one most versed person. If you took my wife out of that room and you dropped her into a same size room but with 100 people from this chat, she would probably be in that bottom, like, least knowledge. So my wife knows a lot. She probably, and like I said, my wife knows about grading. She knows hits. She doesn't know set names. She doesn't really know timelines. She does know a lot of Pokemon. She's opened a lot of packs with me. She she would not be a good watch. I don't know. She would. I don't know. It would be interesting. But no, she'll probably never be on a podcast. I feel like it would just. I'm afraid to, like, feed her to the chat, you know? The chat would just destroy people. Market Scalper said the voice crack sounded more like 69% faith. Nice. Yeah. Uh, let's see. Uh, let's see. So Mick Nick said Charmander is 98, I'm pretty sure. So that means Charizard's 100. I can just look it up. Fuck it. Okay. Charmander EX Dragon. It is number 98. Yep, so that means it is the Charizard is number 100. I knew it was either 90. Oh wait, so yeah, it is 97. So was I right? I said EX Dragon had 97. Oh, somebody go back. Somebody watch the tape. Did I said that? I could have sworn I. No, now I'm double questioning myself. I want to say that I said I thought EX Dragon had 97 cards. So that means I was right. I don't remember what I said. Damn it. Somebody go back, watch the tape. Let's see. So Tom B said, talking about 151, says, I'm debating buying a bunch of booster boxes over sealed cases of Japanese 151. People talk about case premium, but overall I think it'll be a lot harder to sell down the line loose boxes for them. It depends who you're selling for. If you have, like, built-in things, I think case premium's worth it right now. The case premium is very small. Mine's very anecdotal, but $3 extra a box, $2 extra a box, $4 extra a box. I think it's worth it. Okay. Let's see. Kevin Clare said, you said 97, 98, or not. I definitely didn't say 99. I knew it wasn't 99 sets cards. Alright. Listen, guys. Made it to the end of the chat, kinda. Jumped through a lot. Hour and 12 minutes. I could rant. I wonder where I rant. Where would I rank on the ranters? I gotta be up there, right? Am I giving myself too much credit? I could rant. So it's like the ranters of Pokemon. I don't know. Either way, guys, love every single one of you. I don't ask for much. I'm looking over here. I got 100 people watching right now. I got 20 likes. Do me a favor. Hit that like button. If you're new to this channel and you've made it to the end of an hour and 13-minute long live, some maniac on the other end of the stream ranting about God knows what, and you're not subscribed, you haven't hit that subscribe button, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Go seek out professional help because you made it to the end of an hour and 13-minute long live. You need help, I need help, everyone in this chat needs help. Welcome to the G-Gen Club. As always, guys, appreciate every single one of you, and I'll catch you on the next video.